you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Co-hosting brother Akil Abdulaziz, may Jesus peace be within and about your presence.
Peace be within about your presence.
We're on a continuation of our previous program concerning the fear of the message and the one that's bringing forth this message, Holy-Apostle Deen. One thing that we look back and look at for this day and time is that when Allah raised up a messenger, as they did in the time of Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, the message that the Lord brought forth through them, people had a tendency to run from, to not listen to, stay away from, because it called them to the accountability of their actions within themselves and to the account to their Lord. And that's one thing people in this day and time may not recognize, or they recognize it, they turn deaf ear to it, the message. But we let you know that not to fear the Lord's message at all, because it is real and it is powerful. And what it is sending forth for us is true salvation, liberation for our day and time. That's one thing that we part of the Holy Apostle Deen's message of being here. So with that, we're going to get into our show, and I like to thank my brother always for being here, Brother Fakir. What do you think about when you first heard the message coming to you from the Lord Holy-Apostle? How did it affect you? Did it make you want to run?
Well, the wide range of things. Among those things would be a respectful fear.
Okay.
But there's
fear of who, though?
A fear of the source of that message.
Okay.
Whom that those words had to come from.
Okay.
Those, the teachings and the like would have to come from. So naturally, I would think that every creature of Ahezaah, everyone in creation should have that initial fear. But along with that is where they have a recognition as well. And among that recognition would be a respect, honor, and love as well. The notion that you gotta, it's the source of you. It's your the reason why you're here, and the only one that's going to save you. Lord Ahezaah is going to save you. So, keeping all that in mind, yeah, the fear being one of the traits, but it would necessarily be the only trait. The fear is something that alerts you to the reality of the message.
Now, those who are listening to us on this program, those that are tuning in, we're going to try to break it down even more common language. I know for myself, when I first come in contact with Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, upon meeting him about 12 years ago, sitting with this man, and the first thing that a realization came to me was that Ahezaah, Allah, called me to something that I tried to run away from as a young man, teenager growing up all my life, of the calling to account of myself. And in doing that, the words of truth that run through me, cut through me. I said, and I just met the man. I thought he didn't know me, but showing me that the Lord do know us better than we know ourselves. And when he came in with the truth of the word of the Lord, he knew my inner being as well as the extent of me, what I was going through at that time, and still go through as a young man, as a man now, reaching the age of 40, and like, oh man, the Lord, that people, that thing Allah speak about, the Lord is near to you in your jugular vein, that's a real statement that Allah put down in his Quran, in his books, that most people don't even want to deal with, or want to accept the fact that when the messenger comes, he knows you, like Allah said, the messenger is closer to believing than they are to themselves. And that's the thing that struck me. One of the things that struck me with this man that I speak about right now.
I agree with that. And sure, that's been the experience, and the words continue to cut through as if one picks up the precursor to the divine book of recitation, where we have what is presently available for the public, and read the words, you're going to find that effect, that the words are going to cut true. Truth in its pure form is cutting and slicing, and and it takes away a lot of the false things that we've been taught in society, in an overall society that's overall in dysfunction with the Lord Ahezaah, that's looking to run away. One of the things that strikes me as I relate my experience in encountering the Lord Holy-Apostle Deen is the humanness of him too. See, I had experienced the sense of fear, the sense of apprehension about the word prior to physically meeting him. In blessed encounter, and I feel certainly fortunate for that. But that apprehension, I brought that along with me, and I respectfully try to put it in its place. This is okay.
Right.
I'm supposed to be apprehensive. I'm supposed to be, but let me just
Right.
see what's what, And
Mhm.
and then and the Lord Ahezaah's blessing was that this is a very human thing.
I'm laughing. Now, excuse me for my smile. I'm not laughing at you in a sense. I'm a smile because I was privy to the fact when being with Lord Holy-Apostle when you first came,
Okay.
and he joked about it. It was a beautiful joke. He said, "I'm coming in, come on. I'm gonna sit on top of this thing," because they think what a holy man is. See, like you said, the presence of the messenger, they are holy because the divine is within them, manifest through them. But they're still human beings like you and I. But when people put in their mind, we speak about, they fantasize, dream about what the message would be like, they put them under such a high plateau, a high sphere, that they made them almost unhuman, if I can say, if that's a word, so to speak. Unlike, Jesus walking away, the law caused them to do that, but they done that through him, through the messengers, and people have built up a strong, in their mind, made them like almost mythic, like proportions, so to speak, And I laugh because when you came in, and like I said, before you came, actually, like I said, he was setting up the your meeting with him. He said, "What if I sit up there? How would they take me to be?" We all laughed, and we laughed because it was such a funny thing, because people have built up in their own minds, And part of the teaching that Allah gives us through Holy-Apostle Deen is that it's tearing down those veils, those things that we think we know something, we have a knowledge of, but we don't have knowledge. It is the known. It's the reality. And that's the thing, that when you came in, you have built up some sort of...
I'm not sure how I would have reacted had that been the case, but
Right.
I was having some, those types of thoughts come to mind, but basically you try to be, my thing was trying to be as balanced as possible and be prepared for what I was to see. And I felt so wonderfully great, gracious about how human and how welcome I was made to feel,
Right, okay.
So, so and in that humanity, and as it continues today, the words of Ahezaah, those cutting words, those true words, the teachings, the balance, the insight, the constant opening up, as you say, the veils, this constant revealing of this truth, this constant revealing of the truth,
yes,
continues on in this human in this account that where Allah has humanized itself. Yes, Lord Holy-Apostle, he showed me the shelf too, where he should have been at.
Down in the office. Yeah,
and it would have been. I think I would have hung around, but I don't know how I would have reacted. What's he doing up there?
Would it have increased in your faith?
Huh?
I'm just saying, if you saw him in that state, may it have increased you in your faith or of what the Lord was giving through him?
Well, I had been waiting, so I don't think I was going to go. I wasn't planning on going anywhere. But certainly, if I'd in staying with them, the presence of the messenger today and the words of the messenger
you were looking for the levitation, so to speak, that rising.
The messenger continues to confirm itself. The word always confirms itself. It balances itself out. If I hear something new, if the messenger tells me something that's brand new to me, something that's outside of all my experiences of teachings and religion and the world and whatever, but then it comes back around and it balances it right out, But it would have been a good joke, if he would have been up there, I don't know if I would have laughed. Y'all
You'd have might have laughed later, He said, "Dad, they laughing at me, not with me." That'd have been funny.
Yeah.
But like I said, myself, when I first met Holy-Apostle Deen, like I said, I was at a friend of mine's house at the time, And then, looking around, because I've been told about Holy-Apostle Deen years too before I had a chance to actually meet him. And when I got to meet him, the thing that struck me with him, he had a calmness about his spirit. That's the first thing a lot of people recognize about it. It was very calming.
Right.
But he's a funny man. A lot of people know, Allah is a jokester. Funny, but there are jokes with serious intent behind them. You see people, even comedians, they tell jokes sometimes. But behind the joke, he's bringing the truth that may not be palatable. Same thing Allah do for us. When I met him, he was telling jokes about different people, or things we were watching on television. When I first met him, we watched a TV program. And he was explaining the program, the simplicity of it, at the same time, the whole other page that I didn't look at the time because I didn't know what to look for in life in general. I didn't go to much show, but in life. He allowed my eyes to so many things to Holy-Apostle Deen about life that now I can go back now. And myself, I was not a serious person, but when the thing came in of truth, I was one to get angry, and I still look back and get angry every now and then. But now I can look back and laugh at the foolishness of myself. And most people that in religion, they had a tendency to become a self-righteous individual. They begin to thinking, they come stiff, we stiff-necked brothers, we call them rebellion,
Yeah.
I can't laugh, I'm
Now
too
we realize,
serious.
yeah.
Now we realize your
They're
folly of your own foolishness
out of touch
with reality,
yes.
with the real Allah, Ahezaah. And now Allah bring these truths in. Now you get to land because Allah is showing you something of yourself that you may need to work on. You may not see now, but it may come down the line through different trials or experience that you may get through it to help you prepare yourself, better yourself, and remember humility, humble before your Lord as you go through this thing. Because this is the one that brings forth all the trials.
We talked about humor being used as a form of getting out the message. Well,
right.
Humor is a part of the human experience as well as drama or tragedy or even in being chastised or being spoken to sternly. In that is the message. So certainly, I've encountered the Lord's jokes. The Lord Holy-Apostle Deen said,
I've been dismissing some of the jokes at the butt end, so to speak.
And it's the Lord and Master and Creator of all things, all experiences, in all places. So in recognizing that if you're blessed to be made to recognize that,
that's the thing.
You'll see the wisdom of Ahezaah.
That's the thing. People, out there may not really accept, being made known. It is through Ahezaah, Allah's message, through Holy-Apostle Deen, that helped me to experience and understand what I'm going through. Prior to that, I was going through life, things befalling me. I wasn't able to connect the dots, so to speak. I didn't put A with B, C with D. This happened to me, why that happened? Not connecting myself in a part of that and being a part of that was going on. And looking at things like a different perspective that you're not looking at for yourself. It's like you ain't gonna put it together. Allah has to put it together for you, I should say, even better yet.
Yes.
He has to put it together for you. And I don't know about for you, but like I said, as of late, I was out and I had bumped my knee on something. And I was doing something and I walked right into a bench, working and walked right into a bench, and I had to laugh. Myself, the first thing came to my mind was like, oh, Ahezaah, all right, let me get my mind. And see, before then, I would think like, why did it happen to me? Why did this do that? Now, the thing before me now, I didn't take it back to my Lord for the sword, the call that happened to me, to remember it. I may have forgotten it. Mom might have gone through us in the moment, and Allah snap us back whatever way He desired to, bring us back into something.
So even in a minor accident of bumping your knee, you're looking for truth. You're looking for the why. You're looking for an understanding, coming to encounter the messenger, coming into this universal religion of truth. You have to be a sincere seeker,
True.
And however, Ahezaah makes you to sincerely look for something, but be sincere about what it is that you're after in the truth, so that whenever you encounter something, if it's even brand new to you, and none of the things that I've encountered with Lord Holy-Apostle ultimately were brand new. They were brand new in the way it was explained to me.
Right, okay.
And so clear, oftentimes so clear and explained.
Right.
I think in the previous show we were talking about the many lessons of religion, and not only just religion, but in other aspects of life experiences, things that were made clear.
Right.
Things that were made and explained to you. Ahezaah's presence here all the time, in this day of judgment.
If you look at the truth, though, you're like, Allah's wisdom won't go over your head. It'll bring it forth on a level that causes you to understand it and will bring forth that message. One thing, like you said, back to the humanness of the messenger. Prior to, like I said, my meeting him, I had my mind similar, like you were talking about. My mind was so into this about Jesus, like I said, coming through a Christian background, everything was my connection was Jesus, to the prophets, before Holy-Apostle Deen. And him walking on the water, him raising, all the things Allah did through him. And people now have taken those things, that gift, those miracles that the prophets done and attributed to the prophets and messengers. And then I meet Holy-Apostle Deen, and he brings on that clarity you speak about on this way, the level that I can understand. It wasn't taking me to the sensationalism, to the fantasy that most people want to deal with. If he was the Lord of water, you have many followers busting down his door coming to his office. But because his message on such a sane level and it's coming at them in a language that they can understand, and they speak every day, whether they realize it or not. But because it's coming so sensible, they like, hold on, it can't be real. And that's the thing that Allah showed me about the religion of Islam, the religion of truth, that this message comes in so simple that this is what the path to the way of the Lord Most High is like. I had made it into a whole other beast, a whole other monster, because it's too far for me to walk, because I could never reach the perfection that Jesus talked about, that Moses lived in, that Joseph lived in, you know, all the Buddha lived in. This thing of enlightenment, you know, these were terms that I was not familiar with or not hearing upon until I met this man, you know, till Allah explained what true enlightenment is to her, you know, coming into divine unity, being born again, that Jesus spoke about, but being a divine rebirth, dying to this world before you come back into the next life, coming and dying, living in Allah in real, and Allah coming to your conscious awareness and being. That's a whole thing that I heard about, spoken through Jesus, they quoted in the Bible, that I did not really...
We talk about the real. The real which represents Ahezaah, Allah.
Exactly.
The real that represents its creation, that comes from it, the humanity of it all. When we say humanity of the messenger, now others might listen to it and say, okay, he's human, but it's less than that sensationalized personality that the scholars have laid out to us over the centuries with the different religions and the like. But the humanity, though, represents what Jesus of Nazareth and Muhammad and other messengers were like, in that they're called illiterate. You know, they were called, they were supposed to have been illiterate to the scholars, the simple people.
To Prophet Muhammad.
Prophet Muhammad, certainly Prophet Muhammad, you know, is called the illiterate messenger, and one who, but what is given to us, what I understand is that he just was not one who was amongst the scholars. He is not of that company with the scholars, those people that pretend or conjecture or try to put together what the words were like, or what the experience of the messenger being with the people was in previous times. You know, they're just as out of the loop as you and I, or as the common people of their day. You know, but the mercy of Ahezaah is to bring about the message in the human form. You know, so you have a person that you can relate to, that you can understand. You can understand humor. You can understand displeasure. You can understand pleasure. It's a human experience. And then through that, you're getting the words of Ahezaah. You're getting these lessons that goes inside of you and you can't shake. You know, I can see the people fearing from it, and certainly the people who don't want to believe or don't want to obey, I can see them wanting to run, and because their whole world is being shaken.
Definitely. Like I said, being a part of the community of A.H.A.D, the Assembly of Holy-Apostle Deen, we sitting here being amongst the messenger have been blessed by Ahezaah for what we've been receiving thus far. There are many things more to come that Allah is going to show us, because part of the prophecy and the fulfillment that Allah has given through this man is that our people being a chosen people, for one. But at the same time, if they're not taking hold of this message, the message being a universality of the humanity, whole of humanity, then that is going to go forth to those who want to be coming to this fold, and our people are always going to miss out because they don't want to accept what's been given. And that's something that needs to be addressed, and that needs to be made known to our people. But at the same time, his qualities of the humanity of him, he's reachable, he's attainable. You come forth, like you said, seeking sincere truth. Allah have a word for you.
He's reachable, and that used to be humor. Loosening the people up. The people that encounter him, such as my encounter, loosened me up. And once I was loosened up, you can imagine my nervousness at the time. You know. But once I was loosened up, and I mean very shortly after meeting him, in an embrace, you know, and then in conversation and being welcomed, you know, and that you're able to take hold and maybe receive Ahezaah's blessings, you know. You know, I you know, it's you know, it's, what do you call it, misting almost, you know. It's, you know, what I recognize is that the people, one thing I recognize is the concept of miracles, you know, and we were talking about the accounts in the earlier books, and the sign of the miracles with one such as Moses or Jesus and the like. But the Lord Ahezaah is the master of many miracles, small, minor, very subtle miracles. Everything is a miracle, you know. The miracle of our sitting here and being able to speak with one another. The miracle of our births and the births of everyone. The miracle of this universe, the creation of this world. The miracle of Ahezaah being gracious and merciful enough to give of itself and to extend of itself and make a reality of those, you know, those subjects, you know.
Definitely. That's something that, like I said, continuing on dealing with this community and dealing with message. Ahezaah is something that blesses us with the understanding that it's going to ever keep sending messengers. That's one thing Allah made known to us, you know, that they thought the completion of prophethood ended with Muhammad.
Yeah.
Then Allah manifests Lord Holy-Apostle Deen on the scene, you know. And that's something that people that don't accept, don't want to believe.
Right.
You know, back to the humanness of him, because he's a person born and raised in North, right from his very home, and Allah out of his mercy, back to the blessing, the mercy that is sent down, that it chose the city of North, his birth town, to be the place of grace. That people are not, they hear about, like you say, you mentioned about the songs and different things that they speak about in the music, but North is the blessed city that Nostradamus, the prophet Nostradamus, spoke about in his quatrain concerning he's seen the new city being built. You know, and at the same time, him being born in Hayes' home, and there are people that know him, you know, but can't relate to him because they still think he as he once was,
Right.
not recognizing what he is now.
Those people, and I, whatever sympathy you might feel for those people, the messenger of previous times came from a group of people too. And those group of people that knew the messenger closely or intimately, they had their trial too. So they could say, you can't be the messenger because I know you. Well, somebody had to know somebody, you know. I mean, that's not that argument doesn't have any merit, you know.
Right.
If they were to seek to be just sincere, just to calm down, just take a step back, and maybe get with that fear. At least, see, that's the usefulness of that fear. You have that fear of Ahezaah, you should certainly fear of the Lord.
That's
for sure. You know, the first step in knowledge.
That's right.
That's what they say.
Fear the Lord, beginning right. Beginning of wisdom.
You know, you have that fear, but from that fear, let that be a beginning point in directing you. You know, where are you going to run to? If you truly believe in the Lord of all worlds, the master of everything. What's the logic? Where are you going? You know, so to speak. So, be prepared just in this. Hey, I try to turn around from what if you turn around? You say, I'm going to turn around from this word because it sounds too real to me. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds?
It's not that far-fetched because when it first came, when Allah opened you up to yourself, you want to run. I know I did. Well, the truth of me, you want to run from, but then like you said, where you going to run to? Who you want to run to?
I know, the fear is
that fear is
useful.
It's a real thing.
For what it's,
especially to come in contact with the messenger, you know, if he sit there and talk with you, open you up with Lord human like you said, but then it says that he know you and knows who come in contact. For myself being a witness to many things that Allah have done through this man, I can tell you, it shakes people up. Quicken them and say, he know me. Not hearing what he's saying, the Lord know you. I know you through the Lord. I know who you are for the Lord giving me to see of you, to feel of you. You know, that's how he know you. But people don't hear that. They think they're hearing him speaking, saying what he said as if he is the source and the cause and the effect of all that they feeling. But we know, Allah give us that it is the real behind him. He is the sign of the messenger for this day and time. He's the mouthpiece, like you said before, the voice of the Lord. He's the Lord. He's the word living in flesh that you can recognize, feel, tangible, touchable. But he brings the Lord's message for you.
Talking about the humanity of the messenger, the created humanity of the messenger. You know, he even jokes about, makes jokes about his relationship with Lord Ahezaah. You know, Ahezaah has a sense of humor. You know, and through that we get lessons. You know, the key to as a key to reality of the message of Lord Holy-Apostle Deen. The reality that he is the one that is the returned one for today, the prophesied returned Messiah of the book of the Christian teachings and the like. You know, the one to come, the one to come for this day and this time. You know, which is marked. Although the people may not believe it, marked with such things as record number hurricanes and stuff like that, and all the various natural disasters and catastrophes that are going on in record numbers, one behind the other and behind the other, and the misstructured society that's gone astray and the like.
Things prophesied by Allah through Holy-Apostle Deen back in 1998, 99, when the Divine Book of Recitation was being put together, when the precursor to the book that we speak about now was being put together, that things are now coming to pass. Allah fulfilling His word, as we're saying. And that's something that people are not really familiar with. Because they think they know him, they think they know him, aware of him, he couldn't have prophesied. No. Allah prophesied these things through him, and he's making you aware, calling you to it. Look for these things that I'm speaking to you about. They're not my words. But they're coming from a one greater than me that's bringing forth these words through me to let you know, call you to account of what's going on in the world today. And that's things people don't look at that. They don't want to recognize. They think it's him. They always point to the man. And he always himself saying, it's not me. I'm only representing the one that has sent me. I'm a representative of the one that sent me, you know. He is the true divine reminder. I don't care what other people say. This is the true divine reminder. He is the messenger prophet of Allah for this day.
So when the people would turn away from it, where would they, is that the, I mean, are they, is that fear then? Is that the fear of what? Obeying Ahezaah? Of what? What is that they're fearing?
Obeying the Lord, you know. In other words, that's saying the Lord, that way I have to call into the fact that they saying the Lord is real. If he's saying the Lord is real, and I see what's going on, is the Lord?
Yeah.
I mean, people have to question, this may be the day of revelation. This may be the day of judgment. I read about it in my Bible. I heard it read in my Quran, the hour being coming.
But every Sunday or every Friday or every
Saturday, whatever,
they're embracing it like they're waiting for that.
But now,
they're going to be
the Lord is making it known that the fact that Israel is present now. That people do not, that's the part they have the hard time accepting. You know, if they do accept it, the fear do come in. I mean, they've been awakened to something. And they don't want to be accountable to what they've heard or what they want to hear or what is being brought forth to them that they're trying to run from. And that's a shame that, you know, they do themselves a great injustice by turning a deaf ear to what Ahezaah saying through Lord Holy-Apostle Deen as out of a mercy. The calling of people in this day, just like the calling of people of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of Noah, is a mercy from Ahezaah that it does that before it takes down a world, a city, a town. Allah said before it destroys anything, it sends a warner calling the people to that. But most people in the world are busy about what they've been doing, living my life, doing my thing, you know.
Just the people of Noah's time where they were busy about doing their thing.
They think, you know, I got time. They whole thing, I got time. But do you really have time? That's the thing.
Right.
We say this is the day and the hour. This is the time that the Lord promised to come. Do they really have time? That's a question I keep reflecting on as Allah's message come forth to me, as being a part of this community of I.H.A.D, that people do not want to, we go out there doing different things, getting this message out, and people say, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but, you know, I'm going to still live my life, you know. But know that there's a cutoff period for everything. We've been taught that for years, not just from Holy-Apostle Deen, but what is sent down in the books before him coming in being. The time is going to be at hand that you may be questioning about, that you're trying to run from, that you're going to run to. We spoke about death the last show. Everybody's going to meet that. Death in this life or death, whether it be physical, spiritual, emotional, whatever death Allah take you out on, you're going to meet your Lord. He's going to call you to account what you've heard from this man. And people not want to believe that. I'm letting people know. If you met this man, you've spoken to this man in the past 26 years of being on this plane of existence, know that when you pass on in life, you may be questioning about what the Lord said to you. You may not want to believe that. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there.
Many people have looked for this day before that.
Right.
Many people have looked for this day, but you know, as you say, where are they? You know, where are they? You know, the reality of it. You know, reality of that. Hopefully, for many of those that are going to be saved, it'll be just that initial point of fear for them to take and to recognize before they turn to where they can be saved. The only place that they can be saved.
Tell the audience out there that what you're saying. Look at them and tell them what you're saying.
Tell them the point of fear.
Point of
fear
fear
is a good thing. Fear is a good thing if you obey it, if you take heed to it, if instead of trying to turn away from something, from the one that you cannot escape, the one that you cannot escape, keep that in mind. You cannot escape it, so seek to embrace.
I'm gonna add to that what you're saying. This is to go on top of what you're saying. Instead of fearing it, investigate. Allah tells us in the Quran, investigate before you're ready to discard something. I challenge you and my listeners in the TV audience today watching this program, or you watch our P programs, anything that you call us here to say on this television, we're not just saying things just to be saying them. We're calling to scriptures, you know, we calling out verses from the Bible, from the Quran. Look into these things. Hear what this man is trying to say to you. What he's trying to get. Don't fear the man. Don't even fear the message. Hear the message. Try to embrace what you're hearing before you really reject. You know, because this might be your chance to true salvation. You know, everybody looking for Jesus to come in the day and time, to come, you know, in the cloud. But we're saying that The one like Jesus is here. The one like Moses is here, one like Muhammad is here now. If you just hearken to the message, then know that your chance of being saved is great if you just think about it. But like I said before, we want to thank you for tuning into our program. And I have a moment to calm before the storm. This is just the beginning. Tune in. We thank you for watching us, and we hope that you take something from this message today. May Jesus' peace be within and about your presence.
Of you that want to do things right, to keep up with keeping your lives tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly